In the heart of Azeroth, where the land itself breathed magic and legends were born, the echoes of an ancient conflict stirred once more. Deep within the forests of Ashenvale, where the silver moonlight dappled the emerald canopy, an enigmatic figure moved through the shadows. Her name was Lyssara, a night elf rogue who had lived countless centuries, yet carried her youth like a shroud. Known among her kin for her unmatched agility and mastery of stealth, she often served as the unseen hand in pivotal moments of her people's history. But this time, her mission was unlike any before. Lyssara had been tasked by Tyrande Whisperwind herself to investigate a disturbing phenomenon. Reports had reached the sentinels of fell energies rising in the once quiet corners of Ashenvale. Such corruption had not been seen since the height of the Legion's invasions, and the notion that it could return unsettled even the bravest hearts among the Calderai. Under the cloak of night, Lyssara ventured deeper into the forest. She tread with the caution of a predator, her dual blades glinting faintly in the moonlight. The air grew heavier as she approached the source of the fell taint, and the forest itself seemed to recoil in silent agony. Twisted brambles clawed at her cloak, and the once soothing whispers of the trees turned into mournful sighs. At last, Lyssara found the epicenter of the corruption, a desecrated glade where the grass was burnt to ash and the air stank of sulfur. Standing at its heart was an Eredar warlock, his crimson skin glowing faintly as he chanted an incantation in a guttural, otherworldly tongue. Around him, shadowy figures, cultists in dark robes, knelt in a circle, their hands raised in unholy reverence. Lyssara's instincts screamed for her to attack, but she held her ground. Patience, she reminded herself. Recklessness had no place here. Carefully, she unslung a small, rune-etched crystal from her belt. This was her true mission, to record the warlock's ritual and bring evidence to Tyrande and the High Priestess Council. With this, the Calderai could plan their next move. As she activated the crystal, the warlock's chant reached a crescendo. The ground trembled, and a jagged portal tore through the fabric of reality. From its swirling depths emerged a monstrous infernal, its molten body radiating a blistering heat that made the air shimmer. The cultists cheered as the infernal roared, its fiery fists smashing into the ground with devastating force. Lyssara's breath hitched. This was no mere summoning ritual, it was an invasion. She could not allow the Eredar to bring more horrors through the portal. Clenching her blades, she sprang from the shadows, her lithe form a blur of motion. Her first strike was swift and precise, her daggers plunging into the warlock's side. He howled in pain, his concentration broken. The portal flickered, its edges collapsing inward. The infernal, half-formed, bellowed in rage as it was dragged back into the void. The cultists scrambled to defend their master, but Lyssara was relentless. The battle was fierce. Lyssara danced among her foes, her movements fluid and deadly. Cultists fell one by one, their cries silenced by the rogue's blades. The warlock, though wounded, retaliated with a blast of fell fire, forcing Lyssara to roll aside. The heat singed her armor, and she winced, but she pressed on. With a final, desperate strike, she drove her dagger into the warlock's heart. His eyes widened in shock, his body collapsing in a heap. As his life faded, the portal vanished completely, leaving only the charred remnants of the glade as evidence of what had transpired. Panting, Lyssara surveyed the carnage. The battle had been costly, but the forest was safe for now. She retrieved the recording crystal, its surface glowing faintly with the evidence she had gathered. This victory, though hard won, was but the beginning. The fell taint in Ashenvale was a symptom of a greater threat, one that loomed on the horizon like a storm waiting to break. As she melted back into the shadows, Lyssara knew her journey was far from over. Azeroth's future would depend on the courage of those willing to stand against the darkness. And Lyssara, the unseen protector of her people, would answer that call,